What if the reality you're living isn't real at all? What if everything you see, touch, and believe was just a faint shadow of a deeper, unseen truth, a truth hidden in ancient scrolls, whispered only to those ready to awaken? You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet discontent, that strange pull in your soul, telling you there's something more, that the life you're living is only a fragment of the life you could be creating. While the world teaches you to chase, to fear, to conform, a hidden wisdom waits patiently, offering you the real keys to transformation. The Kybalion is not just another book. It is a map out of the illusion, a guide written for those daring enough to break free from the invisible chains that shape their every thought and experience. A map for those who are ready to bend reality, not by force, but by understanding the secret laws that govern everything. Today, you will discover why you didn't find the Kybalion. It found you, and once you see the truth it holds, you will never see your life, or your power, the same way again. There are no coincidences. If you're watching this video right now, it's because something deep within you called for it. According to ancient spiritual alchemy, everything that happens is a ripple from laws far beyond the surface of life. Mental laws, vibrational laws. Just like the unseen strings that move a puppet, unseen energies orchestrate the moments we stumble upon something that has the power to change us. The Kybalion hints at this. The mind is the first mover, and everything else dances to its silent tune. Imagine you're walking through a dense forest, lost, unsure of where you are. Suddenly, a faint light appears ahead. Was it luck? Or did your inner longing for guidance magnetize the path toward you? In the realm of spirit, attention creates attraction. Every thought, every subtle yearning is a magnetic force. And now, by finding yourself here, you're standing at the threshold of ancient wisdom, poised to step beyond the ordinary perception of reality. The Kybalion teaches that nothing is random. Mentalism is the seed from which the tree of experience grows. If you water fear, you harvest fear. If you nurture curiosity, you reap discovery. Finding this message today is no accident. It's an answer to a question your soul whispered long before your conscious mind caught up. The moment you opened yourself to a deeper understanding, the universe arranged the meeting. You may have felt it already, a stirring sense that the life you see is just a veil, and that something richer and more vibrant hums beneath the surface. This feeling isn't delusion, it's intuition awakening. The Kybalion shows that the universe itself is mind stuff, and when your mind seeks, the universal mind responds. In this way, every true seeker eventually finds the door, just as you have now. Think of your life as a great symphony. Every moment, every encounter is a note written long before the first sound ever played. Spiritual alchemy recognizes this intricate design. It's not about blind fate, but conscious alignment. When you step into resonance with higher truths, the score of your life changes, revealing harmonies that once seemed like chaos. The Kybalion whispers that your very reality bends in response to the music your mind plays. There's a sacred urgency here. You didn't find this teaching at random. You called it in by the quality of your vibration, your yearning to go beyond surface-level existence. In spiritual terms, you sent out a signal, and now the cosmos answers. The Kybalion exists for moments like this, moments when an open mind meets a living truth, and something irreversible stirs within. As you move forward, remember, curiosity is the first key. Skepticism, when rooted in fear, locks the door. But questioning, fueled by wonder, opens infinite gates. The Kybalion doesn't impose, it invites. And in accepting that invitation, you step into the sacred current that has quietly guided seekers across centuries. You are part of a continuum now, a chain of souls awakening one by one in perfect, divine timing. The Kybalion emerges like a whispered secret from the veils of ancient wisdom, attributed to mysterious figures known only as the three initiates. These beings didn't seek fame or recognition. They chose anonymity so the focus would remain solely on the teachings themselves. Rooted deeply in the timeless current of Hermetic philosophy, the Kybalion carries the distilled essence of spiritual knowledge that once flourished in the temples of ancient Egypt and echoed through the minds of Greek philosophers. Imagine an underground river flowing invisibly beneath a barren desert, carrying life-giving waters hidden from the surface world. The Kybalion is that underground river, preserving the sacred knowledge of Hermes Trismegistus, a figure so luminous that both the Egyptians and Greeks revered him as the ultimate master of wisdom. His teachings form the bones and blood of the Hermetic tradition, whispering that the universe itself is a mind, and every event a manifestation of thought. The three initiates did not invent new ideas. They merely unveiled ancient truths in a way the modern mind could grasp without losing the original depth. By the time the Kybalion surfaced in 1908, humanity had drifted far from its spiritual roots, lost in a maze of materialism. The initiates knew the time had come to reignite the flame, to offer keys to those ready to unlock deeper realities beyond the brittle shell of the physical world. Every word in the Kybalion is layered, much like a labyrinth that only reveals its true path to those willing to wander with heart and mind wide open. It's not a book to be merely read. It's a living text meant to be lived, to be absorbed through experience. Those who engage with it superficially find only puzzling aphorisms, but those who return to it again and again, letting it ferment in their consciousness, find that it gradually rewires perception itself. It's said that Hermes Trismegistus embodied the perfect fusion of Egyptian and Greek wisdom, the spiritual and the rational united in one voice. The Kybalion captures this balance, speaking both to the heart's yearning for transcendence and the mind's thirst for understanding. It offers a bridge between seen and unseen worlds, between science and spirit, echoing a wisdom so primal that it feels like remembering, not learning. Just as seeds can lie dormant for centuries, waiting for the right conditions to bloom, so too did the Hermetic truths lie hidden, awaiting a generation willing to seek beyond surface illusions. The Kybalion is that sprouting seed, quiet yet unstoppable once it finds fertile ground. By studying its principles, one doesn't merely gather knowledge. One tunes the mind to the deeper harmonies that govern all existence. And so the Kybalion stands today, a testament to the undying flame of hidden wisdom, passed carefully through the hands of initiates, risked across centuries of forgetting, and now landing, incredibly, in yours. To understand its origin is to feel the invisible lineage of seekers, mystics, and sages who refuse to let truth perish in the noise of the world. You are now invited to walk that ancient path forward. At the heart of the Kybalion lies a radical truth: all is mind. This isn't just poetic language, it's the blueprint of reality itself. The universe, from the smallest grain of sand to the vastness of galaxies, exists first as a thought within the infinite mind. Imagine living inside a dream so vivid, so textured, that you forgot you were the dreamer. This is the world we inhabit, a divine projection crafted by consciousness. When you look around, at your home, your relationships, your challenges, you're not seeing fixed external facts. You're witnessing the crystallized echoes of your inner mental state. The Kybalion teaches that everything material is a condensation of thought, just as mist condenses into water. If your thoughts are filled with fear, confusion, or scarcity, the reality around you responds by hardening into those very forms. It's no accident that ancient mystics, quantum physicists, and visionary thinkers all arrive at a similar conclusion. Consciousness precedes matter. Your mind isn't a passive observer, it's an active participant in shaping the world. Just as a sculptor cannot blame the stone for the form it takes, neither can we blame life for reflecting the thoughts we continually chisel into existence. The Kybalion reminds us to change the sculpture, first change the sculptor's vision. Practical magic, then, begins in the realm of thought. It's not about chanting spells or invoking distant forces. It's about mastering the quality and direction of your own mind. Positive thinking isn't merely a cliché. It's a sacred art form. If you seed your consciousness with gratitude, courage, and love, you generate realities woven with abundance and possibility. The Kybalion serves as the ancient manual for this hidden craftsmanship. Consider this. If you woke up tomorrow and decided to hold a new vision of yourself, one of vitality, wisdom, and joy, and nurtured that vision with unwavering mental energy, how different would your external life look in 1 year, 5 years? This isn't fantasy, it's spiritual law. Reality bends around mental currents, just as rivers carve the earth with invisible persistence. The more you understand that you are both the dreamer and the dream, the freer you become. No longer trapped by the tyranny of appearances, you recognize your sovereign power to reimagine and recreate. The Kybalion doesn't promise instant miracles. It offers eternal principles. Principles that, when faithfully applied, guarantee transformation as surely as the sun guarantees light. When you internalize mentalism, your entire relationship to life shifts. You no longer feel like a victim tossed by random waves. Instead, you become a conscious navigator, adjusting the sails of thought to harness even the most chaotic winds. The universe becomes your co-creator, not your enemy, and every moment, every thought becomes a brushstroke on the vast, living canvas of your reality. Before we move deeper, I'd love to hear from you. What part of the Kybalion resonates with your journey right now? Is it the power of mentalism, the mystery of rhythm, or the art of transmutation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might be the light that inspires someone else walking this path with us. Let's build a space of awakened minds together. The Kybalion unveils another immutable truth. Nothing happens by chance. Every event, every encounter, every triumph or setback is the inevitable blossom of seeds once planted in thought, feeling, or action. In a world woven from mind, randomness is an illusion. Just as no tree bears fruit without a planted seed, no event in your life arrives without a hidden cause trailing behind it. Imagine tossing a stone into a still pond. Ripples spread outward, touching shores you can't even see from where you stand. Your thoughts, emotions, and deeds are those stones. Whether hurled in anger or placed with intention, their effects radiate across the unseen waters of reality. The Kybalion teaches that your present circumstances are the delayed echoes of past causes, both conscious and unconscious. This law strips away the comforting excuse of bad luck or fate. It places the pen of destiny squarely in your hands. But it's not a sentence, it's liberation. If you created your current reality through previous causes, then you can also craft a new reality by sowing different seeds now. Responsibility, in the light of the Kybalion, is not a burden. It's the gateway to ultimate freedom. Think of karma, not as cosmic punishment, but as a precise spiritual accounting system. It's not about judgment, it's about balance and learning. Every thought that echoes with love, every choice aligned with truth, creates causes that will inevitably return bearing gifts. And every unconscious reaction, every fearful act, sets into motion lessons you will eventually encounter. Reality is a mirror polished by causes, reflecting effects with perfect fidelity. In your daily life, this truth invites fierce mindfulness. Before you speak, before you act, before you linger too long in a toxic thought, pause. Ask yourself, what future am I planting right now? What ripple will this moment send into my life a week from now, a year from now? The Kybalion encourages us to become gardeners of consciousness, tending to our internal landscape with patience and precision. Even the smallest shift, a conscious breath, a moment of gratitude, an act of kindness, creates ripples more powerful than we can imagine. Just as a tiny pebble can eventually reshape a mighty river, small inner adjustments have the power to alter the course of destiny. The Kybalion reminds us that nothing is wasted. Every cause is sacred, every effect is a teacher. Embracing the law of cause and effect transforms life from a chaotic battleground into a conscious classroom. Every experience becomes a message, every challenge an invitation to refine your inner world. In aligning your mind with intentional causes, you step onto a path of mastery, where reality is no longer an unpredictable storm, but a garden of your own sacred design. The Kybalion reveals yet another profound secret. Everything moves in measured beats, rise and fall, ebb and flow, advance and retreat. The dance of the universe is rhythmic, and so too is the dance of your life. Just as oceans have tides and seasons change without fail, your emotions, fortunes, and experiences follow an ancient, pulsing rhythm that cannot be denied. Think of life as a great cosmic pendulum, swinging from one extreme to another. Joy gives way to sorrow. Sorrow births wisdom, and wisdom brings new joy. The Kybalion teaches that understanding this rhythm is key to transcending needless suffering. When you realize that dark nights are not permanent, but necessary contractions before expansion, despair loses its power over you. In practical terms, this means riding the waves instead of resisting them. When challenges arise, you don't fight the current. You dive deeper, conserving your strength and waiting for the inevitable upswing. And when success graces your path, you savor it fully, knowing that humility will prepare you for the next valley. This graceful dance with life's tides is the hidden art taught by the Kybalion. We often torment ourselves by expecting life to be a straight climb upward, eternal happiness, constant success, unbroken peace. But nature herself laughs at this illusion. Every tree must lose its leaves, every moon must wane, every heart must break open to grow. The Kybalion invites us to stop cursing the winters of our lives and to start seeing them as fertile seasons, silently nurturing our next awakening. Imagine if you approached every downturn not as a failure, but as a secret blessing in disguise, a recalibration of your soul's journey. This shift in perspective, rooted in rhythm, transforms storms into sacred initiations. Instead of clinging to comfort or fearing discomfort, you begin to trust the invisible music guiding your path. You become a surfer of energies, balancing on the crests and troughs with quiet mastery. Emotional states also follow this rhythm. Highs of inspiration naturally fade into periods of introspection. Energy surges are followed by deep stillness. When you align with this inner clock, you stop fighting yourself. You meditate during lulls, create during surges, heal during winters, and harvest during summers. The Kybalion offers the understanding that nothing is wrong, everything is simply moving. Through the law of rhythm, you start to feel an ancient pulse within you, the same pulse that beats in the stars, the forests, and the oceans. You are not separate from the universal dance. You are a step in its infinite choreography. To trust the rhythm is to trust life itself, and in doing so, you flow effortlessly toward your highest unfolding. The Kybalion teaches that everything exists in pairs of opposites, light and dark, joy and sorrow, love and fear, but that these opposites are actually two ends of the same spectrum. Polarity isn't division, it's unity disguised. Hot and cold, for instance, are not separate forces but variations of the same phenomenon, temperature. This hidden truth, once grasped, becomes the key to inner alchemy. Life doesn't demand that you eliminate negativity. It asks that you transmute it. Fear doesn't have to be banished. It can be elevated into courage. Pain isn't something to be erased. It's the raw material from which wisdom is forged. The Kybalion shows that by raising the vibration of an emotional state, we slide along the pole from one extreme to another, mastering our inner world instead of being its victim. Picture your emotions as notes on a grand piano. Every feeling, rage, joy, despair, ecstasy, is a key. You can't remove the lower notes, but you can learn to play them differently. When you feel sadness, you're not trapped. You're simply touching a lower octave. With awareness, you can choose to ascend, blending sadness into introspection, then into gratitude. The Kybalion hands you this mystical sheet music if you're willing to listen. Practical transmutation begins with awareness. Notice when anger flares. Instead of suppressing it or acting it out, you recognize it as concentrated energy. With intention, you redirect it into creative work, into fierce honesty, into bold action. The Kybalion doesn't suggest we deny our shadows. It calls us to become artisans of the soul, transforming raw emotional material into spiritual gold. Think of the most painful event in your life. Was it not also the birthplace of your greatest strength? The Kybalion shows that what we call bad and good are simply perspectives along a sliding scale. Mastery lies not in avoiding difficulty, but in wielding polarity as a sword, cutting through illusion, revealing hidden power. When you alchemize fear into fuel, sorrow into sensitivity, resistance into flow, you are living Hermetic magic. Daily life becomes your laboratory. Each irritation, each fear, each moment of doubt is an invitation. Transmute this. You start to see challenges not as punishments, but as sacred opportunities to practice your art. The Kybalion reminds us that polarity is never punishment, it's potential. Every emotional storm contains the very winds you can sail toward transformation. In accepting polarity, you transcend it. You move through life not as someone battered by forces beyond your control, but as a conscious alchemist, a weaver of energies. As Hermes Trismegistus hinted, the true magician is not the one who commands external spirits, it's the one who masters the tides within. Through the lens of the Kybalion, you realize you were never powerless. You simply needed to learn the dance of opposites. One of the quiet revolutions hidden within the Kybalion is the understanding that purpose is not a fixed destination. It is a living, breathing journey. So many wander through life desperate to find their purpose, imagining it as a single golden key they must discover and hold forever. But the deeper truth is far more liberating. Purpose evolves as consciousness expands. Imagine climbing a mountain shrouded in mist. At the base, your only goal is to find a path. Higher up, you see vistas that were once unimaginable, and new desires awaken within you. Purpose, like that journey, reveals itself layer by layer. What feels like your mission today may be but a stepping stone toward a much vaster calling tomorrow. The Kybalion teaches that movement, inner and outer, is sacred. The mind, like the soul, is not meant to be static. It is designed to grow, to question, to explore. Fixating on a single rigid identity stifles the spirit's natural unfolding. The Kybalion reminds us, in a universe where everything vibrates and changes, clinging too tightly to a fixed idea of yourself or your purpose is a subtle form of spiritual resistance. Evolution is the law of life. Think of a river winding through landscapes, adapting to mountains, forests, deserts. The river does not resist change, it embraces it, carving new paths when necessary, yet always flowing toward a greater ocean. So too must we flow, allowing our sense of purpose to deepen, refine, and sometimes completely transform as our awareness grows. The Kybalion calls this dynamic movement the dance of life itself. Many suffer because they believe they have failed if their passions shift or their paths diverge. But from a Hermetic perspective, these shifts are signs of deeper alignment, not betrayal. Just as a tree must shed its blossoms to bear fruit, your soul must release old dreams to embrace new realities. The Kybalion encourages this sacred shedding, trusting the hidden intelligence behind every twist and turn. Practical spirituality means checking in often with your heart. What lights you up today? What inner fire refuses to be ignored? Following those currents without shame or fear is an act of profound faith. You are not abandoning your purpose. You are listening to it more closely as it sings in new, surprising keys. The Kybalion reminds us that stagnation is death, while movement is life eternal. When you trust the dynamism of your purpose, life becomes a thrilling adventure rather than a desperate search. Each phase of growth, each unexpected detour is not a mistake but a masterpiece in progress. You don't need to know your ultimate destination. You only need to stay true to the next step illuminated before you. Through the living wisdom of the Kybalion, your journey becomes the destination. The Kybalion doesn't just offer isolated principles. It unveils a sacred web where each law intertwines with the others, forming a complete living system. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender are not 7 separate ideas. They are facets of a single cosmic diamond, each reflecting and refracting the ultimate truth that reality is mind in motion. Imagine a great tapestry woven with golden threads. Each thread is a Hermetic principle, but the beauty and strength of the tapestry come from the way they interlace and support each other. If you tug on one, the entire structure vibrates. The Kybalion reveals that life itself is this mystical fabric, and understanding one thread deepens your understanding of the whole. For example, the law of mentalism states that all is mind. But how does mind express itself? Through vibration. How do vibrations relate to our lives? Through correspondence. As within, so without. How do these vibrations oscillate? According to rhythm. How do they create experiences? Through cause and effect, and within every movement, the forces of polarity and gender shape the unfolding. It's not a set of rules, it's an intricate cosmic choreography. This interconnectedness is practical, not just theoretical. When you align your thoughts, mentalism, with higher frequencies, vibration, you naturally shift your external reality, correspondence, over time, rhythm, by initiating new causes, cause and effect, and balancing opposing forces within, polarity and gender. The Kybalion is like a map that shows not only the territory, but the invisible rivers and currents that shape it. Seeing these laws as a unified code changes how you move through the world. You stop reacting blindly and start moving like a conscious player on a multi-dimensional chessboard. Every thought becomes strategic, every emotion an opportunity for mastery, every cycle an invitation to deeper harmony. The Kybalion doesn't just teach you how the universe works, it invites you to become the universe in action. Think of mastering these laws as learning the hidden language of reality. Each insight opens new levels of awareness, like secret doors in an ancient temple. You no longer feel trapped by appearances because you understand the currents beneath them. You become fluent in the sacred mechanics of existence. No longer a leaf blown by the wind, but the very wind itself, moving with purpose and grace. By embracing the interconnected dance of these laws, you awaken an ancient memory within your soul, a knowing that you are not separate from the cosmos, but a vital, pulsing expression of its infinite intelligence. Through the Kybalion, you don't just study spiritual truths, you embody them, becoming a living bridge between the seen and the unseen worlds. The Kybalion was never meant to be a dusty relic of philosophy. It is a living manual for transformation, meant to be applied in the sacred theater of your daily life. Knowing the laws is only the beginning. True mastery comes from weaving them into the very fabric of how you think, feel, act, and dream. Transformation isn't abstract. It's breathtakingly practical. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you feed, plants a seed. If you want a beautiful, abundant life, you must tend to your inner garden with relentless devotion. The Kybalion shows that by cultivating positive thoughts, clearing mental clutter, elevating your emotional vibration, and respecting your natural rhythms, you actively rewire the landscape of your existence. Start simple. Begin each morning with conscious intention. What mental seeds will you plant today? Observe your thoughts as a sacred observer, gently steering them toward courage, gratitude, and creativity. Organize your physical space too. Your external environment mirrors your internal state. A clean, inspiring space naturally encourages a clean, inspired mind. This is practical alchemy, alive and real. When emotional storms arise, apply the law of polarity. Instead of sinking into despair, ask, what is the opposite frequency I can shift toward? Find the note higher up the emotional scale. When setbacks hit, remember the law of rhythm. Every low is followed by a high. Resist nothing. Flow with grace. When you feel lost, recall the law of correspondence. As you heal your inner world, the outer world must respond. Daily rituals amplify transformation. Meditation isn't a luxury. It's the forge where mental refinement happens. Journaling lets you track the cause and effect chains you are weaving. Creative visualization charges your mind with powerful blueprints. Studying the Kybalion itself over and over reveals new layers each time, as if the book is alive, growing with you, whispering deeper secrets as your mind evolves. Most importantly, honor your cycles. Some days you will surge forward, other days you will retreat inward. Both are sacred. Trust the rhythm. Trust your own dynamic purpose. Trust that you are not broken when challenges arise. You are simply moving through a grand initiation. The Kybalion arms you with tools not to escape life, but to dance within it with artistry and wisdom. Transformation, in the Hermetic sense, is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you truly are beneath the noise. A creator, a weaver of realities, a spark of infinite mind. When you live the Kybalion, reality itself bends and blooms before you, not through force, but through deep alignment with the eternal laws that have always held the universe together. The laws you've glimpsed today are not distant philosophies. They are living forces pulsing through every breath you take, every thought you entertain, every choice you make. The Kybalion is a mirror, reflecting not just the universe, but your own infinite potential to create, transform, and ascend. You now hold the keys. Will you consciously plant new seeds in the garden of your mind? Will you honor the rhythms of your soul instead of fighting the seasons of your growth? Will you choose to become the sculptor of your reality, not its prisoner? The ancient wisdom is alive within you. All it needs is your willingness to awaken it. If this journey stirred something deep inside you, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications, not just to follow content, but to walk together through this sacred unfolding. Let's grow, transmute, and rise. One conscious breath, one awakened thought, one sacred choice at a time.